shadow, you shall not pass! Fly, you fools!
Shogun here, and do you want to know what the Rings of Power reminds me of? It reminds me of a flaming bag of dog crap. I know a lot of you all are probably too young to know what a flaming bag of dog crap is. You're too busy playing your video games and on your tablets, watching your Amazon Primes. Just kidding, no one watches Amazon Prime. But a flaming bag of dog crap is exactly what it sounds like. You see, back in the day, you would get dog turds off the ground. You would put it in a brown paper bag that you got from your nearest corner store. You would set it on fire and you would leave it on someone's doorstep. You would ring the doorbell and then you would run away. And you see, you caused a problem for whoever came to that door. Because, hey, do you want a flaming pile of dog crap on your doorstep? No. So what are you going to do? You're going to stomp on it to put it out. And then when you do, you get a little poop on your shoe. That's what this show is. It's a flaming bag of dog crap. And all of us are going to have to get a little crap on our shoe in the process of stomping it out. But you see, folks, personally, I don't mind getting a little doo-doo on the bottom of my shoe. I don't mind getting a tad bit dirty, as long as it means I get to stomp all over gigantic woke piles of literal shit like the Rings of Power, and then bathe in SJW tears afterwards. The reason why I keep comparing the Rings of Power to a literal bag of dog turds that has been set aflame on your doorstep is because when something like that happens to you, you can't just ignore it. You have to put out those flames. But you also have to realize you're going to get messy while you're doing so. You can't just ignore this fire on your front porch. It could burn your whole house down. But in order to put out that flame, things are going to get a little stinky. They're going to get a little messy. And that's just something that you have to accept. Much like this show. You see, I can ignore a few random woke pieces of garbage MCU, Disney Plus TV shows, but I cannot sit back and ignore them trying to destroy a new franchise from the inside out. They're trying to take everything you know and love about Lord of the Rings, about Tolkien's lore, and they're trying to twist it and turn it into something of their own. And we all know what their properties look like, or what our old properties look like once they get a hold of them. We've seen it before. They don't hire anyone that cares about these projects. They don't hire anyone that cares about the books or the canon or the lore or the comics or whatever. They only hire activists because the only reason why they make these shows is because it's just basically propaganda. That's all it is. All modern day TV and movies are nothing more than propaganda. I mean, they don't even try to hide it. Listen to this actress from the Rings of Power.
Part of and the realm that you're in.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir, and to be in the company of all of you. It's surreal. I play the mother of a very somewhat rebellious teenage son, played by this incredible actor, Tyro, and in a forbidden romance with an elf, played by this beautiful specimen over here, Ismael Cruz Cordova. And what I love about the writers on this show is that they have given every woman on the show, every female character, such agency. We don't serve the men around us. We have a storyline in our own right. And for Bronwyn, she is a healer, but she also taps into her inner lioness. And I, as an activist, as a long-time human rights activist.
Oh, wow. Would you look at that? She just so happens to be an activist. That has to be rare. Oh, wait. No, never mind. The entire cast are nothing more than activists. Other people in the cast have already referred to themselves as activists. This show is a reimagining of Token's Lure, told from an SJW activist perspective. It's nothing more than that. And then she rants about female agency, as if we've never seen a strong woman character before. It never fails. Every single movie and TV show coming out these days, they feel as if they need to preach to us that women can be strong characters too. And then they go so far as to act as if this is the first time there's ever been a strong woman on screen. And then the next movie comes out a month later. This is the first time women get agency. They don't even know what these words mean. They don't care what these words mean. They are given buzzwords from the top, and they, it just trickles down to the bottom, and all of them just make sure to use the buzzwords. If you go back and watch this panel from SDCC, you can tell that none of them know what they're talking about. Half of them can't even answer the questions. But you know what they can do? They can talk about how they're an activist and how women get agency. And it's like they're preaching to the wrong crowd. I hate the fact that these SJWs came into the nerd space. You know, regardless of what area in fandom you're in, you might like Lord of the Rings, you might like Star Wars, you might like Harry Potter, you might like Marvel, DC. Being a nerd and being into these properties, you always had strong female characters. So it's like they're coming into our spaces and they're preaching things to us that we were already cool with. We were already cool with strong women characters our entire lives. That's why we're nerds. In order to be a nerd, you have to accept the fact that there are cool, strong women characters. I grew up with the X-Men, one of my favorite comic book series. We had Rogue, you had Storm, you had Jean Grey. These weren't side characters. These weren't one-offs that no one cared about. No. Often they were sometimes the most powerful characters in those stories. But they didn't feel the need to preach to you, oh, I'm a woman, so therefore I'm stronger than all men. They didn't feel the need to demasculinize men every step of the way and make it look like men are just stupid and dumb like they do in these movies and these recent TV shows. This show will be nothing more, mark my words, it will be nothing more than Galadriel one-upping everyone else in the Lord of the Rings franchise and all of the movies that you've already seen. Regardless if it's the Lord of the Rings trilogy or the Hobbit trilogy, they're just going to go through and have scenes that show you that Galadriel is better than anyone you've ever seen. Any character in Lord of the Rings that you've ever seen on screen, they're not as powerful as her. And she'll go through and wreck all the orcs, and she'll wreck the cave trolls. She'll do stuff that Gandalf couldn't even do. It would take a whole fellowship to do what she's going to pull off, but that's all this series is going to be. Another woke dumpster fire that tries to preach to you that diversity is more important than the story and that women characters trump all and that this woman character is the one character to rule them all. Forget the ring. We have this strong woman and we have diversity. It is getting so sickening. It is getting so sickening, and it's so weird because it's so forced. We as a society, we were already naturally progressing into having more diversity within our stories and within our movies and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that we have to go back to something that was made 100 years ago and change it to fit our modern day view. You understand what I'm saying here? And then they act as if, oh, we wanted to remake this and do it our way because our way is timeless. It's not as dated. As if Lord of the Rings is so dated because there wasn't a lot of diversity on screen. Lord of the Rings was very much a tale about Europe and it's like a European mythology in a way. And sorry, but that these are the type of people that lived in that area. So those were the type of people that were in Tolkien's story. I have nothing against someone creating a new mythology that takes place on a different region of Earth, and they don't have to have a single white person in it, any type of person. They could do whatever they want, and maybe I'll read it, maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe I'll watch the movies if they tell a good story. But they can't do that. They have to come in and ruin everything you know and love, because that's what they love to do. They want your morale to be at an all-time low. They want you to feel like you have no way, nowhere to go to escape their politics, to escape their woke virtue signals, to escape their messages. They came into the comics. They came into Star Wars. They've come into every facet of our lives, and now they want Lord of the Rings, but we are not having it. We will take a stand right here. This may be the last stand. And what everyone needs to do, we all need to come together and crap on this show as much as possible. Hell, maybe we should all come together and cancel our Amazon Prime accounts on the exact day that this show comes out. But don't get me wrong, I will be watching this show. I may just have to set sail on the high seas to do so. But let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all on the next video.